What is up, guys? It is the 4th day of Purge Week, and a lot of you are probably wondering why I would complain about the state of this game without offering any solutions. So that's what I'm going to try to do in this video while I progress my Purge Week build. As you may have noticed, it's an unobtainable build with Lightning Cloak, but I'll still put the stats in the DEEPWOKEN builder link in the description, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Anyways, here are 3 changes that I think would make DEEPWOKEN fun again. Number 1 is the looting system. Now look, loot in this game kind of sucks. I want you guys to pay attention to the loot I get throughout this progression. Notice how I almost always just never even take anything from the chests, because a lot of this loot is just not even worth the time it takes to pick it out of the chest. There's 2 reasons why looting sucks in this game. Number 1 is the loot itself, and then number 2 is the currency, which pretty much has no value. We can solve both these issues with one simple change. Now bear with me here. We remove armor pips. Now wait. The reason we don't take loot out of the chest 99% of the time is because we won't take it unless it's got high HP or high DVM. And actually, DVM's kind of worthless now. So it's literally just like one useful stat that we can find. You can include physical armor or elemental armor or whatever into that, but most armor pieces don't even have that as an option. So that's only 2 armor potential equipments that you can even get good stats on. And then only one of those stats for the rest of the armor is even good. This is because the armor pip system adds way too much RNG with the generation of stats. Now we can solve this by removing the pips and having each armor set give unique stat buffs depending on what armor it is and how many stars it has. Then we can allow the blacksmith to upgrade armor stars with notes, and bam! We just solved both the loot issue and the note issue. This would also have a third benefit. We'd see people using armor other than just Iron Stinger heavy plates and star boots. This change would give each set of armor a unique stat line and progression. Maybe the Scribble coat could get a lot of DVM at 3 stars, while the Iron Stinger could focus more on HP and physical resistance. Then you could give the Ministry and Owl Cloaks Ether and Elemental armor for those who are into that. I think to make this work, you'd also have to make armor a little bit more rare in chests, and then give out more common sellable items like gold, gems, and deep gems so that chests are still packed with things when you pick them up. This change will allow you to pick and optimize armor to fit your playstyle, and will result in all these random useless armors in the game finally having a purpose. In summary, remove armor pips and give each armor unique stats and make them upgradable at the blacksmith. Next up, we have the wiping system. Verse 2 took us a step in the right direction with the echo system, but it needs a lot more to get to the fun and interactive spot it should be for games such as this. I've played a lot of roguelike games, so trust me when I say I know what I'm talking about here. Wiping in roguelike shouldn't be this tragic setback that makes you want to quit the game, though I'm not saying it shouldn't hurt a little bit either. It should sting, but it should also become an opportunity to head back into the game and create a unique character that you weren't able to make last time. So here's just a couple changes you could make to make wiping a little bit more fun. Number 1, you probably see where I'm going with this one, but passing down one mantra to your next character would be super interesting. This would instantly and easily make build creation way more complex and unique, allowing us to create completely different builds. And it's not even hard to code. I mean, they did it on accident. That's how I made this build. Maybe there could be a shrine in the Fragments of Self that you give a mantra to, and when you get some knowledge you can cash that in to get your mantra back. If you guys think this would create balancing issues, I don't really care. Y'all would rather have a boring but balanced game rather than a fun but unbalanced one. That's why they removed and nerfed all the fun talents like Return to Dark Ages and Exoskeleton, which is a shame because those actually resulted in fun and unique interesting builds. Number 2, give us more echoes options. Make more consumable ones, perhaps one-time buffs you can buy in Fragments to either speed up progressions or pass down more things like mantras, relics, etc. I currently have my echoes maxed out, and they are just pretty much worthless for me right now. It's a really cool system, and I wish they would expand upon it more. And I'm actually planning on making another video in the future that could focus on changes they can make to the echo modifier system, like adding more echo modifiers that change the gameplay in interesting and unique ways rather than just making it directly harder. Number 3, add more talents that are locked behind getting achievements on the surface and then wiping. We currently only have one of those, and it's called Termite. We should have hundreds of these. Imagine every time you wipe, you unlock 10 new talents you get to play with on your next playthrough. That might encourage you to go and create a new character right away, wipe your current builds that you have. Hell, it doesn't even have to be limited to talents. What if there are origins, mantras, even resonances that you could unlock after wiping? You might catch me wiping all my random Power 20 builds just to see what happens. This is something that almost every roguelike that I've played has. For example, Risk of Rain 2, nearly half of their content, items and whatnot, characters, are locked behind post-death unlocks. DEEPWOKEN should be doing this more. It would add a whole new layer to the game. These are just a couple changes that they can make to wiping, and I think it would help a lot with player retention. Currently, when you wipe, you just kind of want to stop playing. This would make it so when you wipe, you want to keep playing, and would make the game even more addictive. In summary, let us pass down mantras, buy more stuff with echoes, and add more unlockable things when you wipe. Now the third thing I would change would be progression. Progressing this game is slow for two reasons. One is the traveling system, and the other is EXP. Let's start with traveling. Now, to its praise, DEEPWOKEN has one of, if not the most fun movement systems on Roblox. You have to run, roll, slide jump, climb, dash, and use your abilities to move optimally, and it's just so much fun. That's why it's such a shame that you can only go so far before you have to hop on a boat and move very slowly to the next island. I don't like boat travel in any game, but it's exceptionally frustrating in this game, going from such a fun and unique parkour system to the slow and boring sailing system. I'm going to propose a pretty drastic change to fix this. I say keep boats as they are, but add an unlockable echo talent that would allow you to use boats to fast travel between islands. This would mean you just talk to the dockmaster and select which island you want to go to. Now you might be saying, but I was AFK, wouldn't this mean getting a boat better than the dinghy would be useless? Yes, which is why they should limit your fast travel range depending on which boat you get. So for example, maybe the dinghy and sloop can only travel from like Etris to Arisia, Vigils, and Mini. And you need to upgrade your boat to go to further places like Miners Landing, Fort Merritt, Hive, etc. Not only does this solve the issue of slow and boring boat travel, but it actually gives you a reason to buy the more expensive boats. I don't know about you guys, but I never buy anything better than the dinghy, because the speed difference isn't noticeable enough for me to care. This would also give notes even more uses, which is another issue that I mentioned earlier on in the video. The next issue with progression is EXP. Now I know they buffed progression like 100 times already, but it really is still just too slow. Vow of Thorns is almost a good speed, but the downsides usually don't make it worth taking, in my opinion. No. My main issue is with the dialogue, I've learned what I can from training right now, I need to put it into practice. I don't think anyone has ever seen this and thought, wow, what a fun and interactive piece of game design. I can't wait to encounter this dialogue again. Honestly, just remove it. Just remove it. Just get rid of it entirely. Training is hard enough without that arbitrary cap. Let us consistently train all the way up to power 20 without that text ever showing up, and I'll be happy. You may think that this will just let players get power 22 easily, but that won't be as much of an issue if you encourage wiping through my other suggestions in part 2 of this video. It just works. Everything that I've said here kind of all blends together and makes the game smoother, more fun experience. Take for example Realm of the Mad Gods. That game has, I think it's exactly power 20 cap as well. It's a level 20 cap, and you can get there in like an hour, but then that's where the actual like fun part of the game starts. You start doing post leveling progression, like getting magic, getting armor and stuff. That's where the game gets interesting. DEEPWOKEN could easily take a similar approach to that, and it would make the game a lot faster, and you would be okay with wiping your slots because all these changes would encourage you to wipe. So yeah, I'd say add these updates and we can make the game interesting without having to do an entire purge event. Those are the 3 changes that I would make to DEEPWOKEN. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any suggestions for changes in the comment section below. And yeah, thanks for watching.